Hey Vinyl community, I've been back at work now for a couple of days, so why God, why? Excuse me. And yeah, I'm at home now and I'm relaxing, and I thought I would just show you a couple of albums I've been listening to over the last few days, and hopefully you might find something of interest. So yeah. Okay, first one, Tonton Macoutes from 1971. This was an English band formed in the same year, I believe, 1971. Jazz, prog rock, just an excellent group of musicians. I believe they were in a band before this. I've forgotten their name, but they were formed from the ashes of that band, I believe, and then as a lot of bands are. But anyway, yeah, this album is on the RCA Neon label, which is very collectible. This is an original copy. And yeah, you don't find these albums really ever around here, and when you do, they're really expensive. When you find them anywhere, I imagine they're really expensive, unless you get really lucky. But yeah, really cool album. If you like your prog stuff, if you like your jazz, if you like your 70s rock, if you just like good music, well played music. That's the thing about these prog bands, is back in the day, they really knew how to play. There's no sort of not like nowadays where you can go on a stage and mime. No, you had to be able to play the hell out of your instrument to be in a band like this, and they really could. So yeah, this one is, like I said, very rare, and unfortunately, as a result, you probably know, very expensive. Unfortunately, but luckily I got a good one for a good price. There's the label on neon, lovely label. It comes with the original black sleeve. These RCA Neons came with a black sleeve, but I've just put it in a modern one just to keep it nice, There's the black sleeve. But yeah, like I say, very rare, very expensive, but very cool. I think I looked on Discogs, and copies start at like £150. So what's that in dollars? Nearly $300 maybe, I don't know. A lot of money, but I didn't pay anywhere near that for mine, so I got really lucky, as I say. And but yeah, check it out online. You can probably get a reissue for a reasonable price. I'm not showing this to brag. I'm showing it because it's really cool and just a fun thing to show, isn't it? So here's that one. Okay, I listened to this one yesterday. Delaney Bonnie, except no substitute. And yeah, that's got a bit of damage there, as you can see, but I paid like £3 for it, and the record plays perfectly fine. There's some cool people on the back there, as you can see. So who plays on this then? Bobby Whitlock, Bobby Keys, the sax man who played with the Stones and various people, Leon Russell, Rita Coolidge. If you know this sort of music, they're kind of the usual suspects, really. They played with Clapton and these guys, and they got around, doing different things. But yeah, husband and wife. I don't know if that's their kids there. I imagine it probably was. But yeah, really soulful. She had an amazing voice. I believe she was the only white girl to sing. Is it the Ikettes that sang with Tina Turner? Ike and Tina Turner. I can't remember, but she sang with someone like that, and she was the only white girl to do so because she was so soulful. But yeah, husband and wife, brilliant soulful music. Eric Clapton basically left Blind Faith to go and play with these guys, so that has to tell you something. Really just brilliant soulful music. Makes me feel good. One of the only albums I'll sing along to. Sometimes I'll sing along to this and think, you know what, I can sing. And then other times I think, oh, maybe I can't, but maybe one day I'll do a video, we'll see. I listened to this one. I love this album. Yes, Fragile. This is an original copy, original UK, with the booklet inside. Yeah, I love this album. Chris Squire's bass playing on this is outrageously good. The tone, the sound, oh man, it's just so good. If you've got a good sound system, this album, on the original Atlantic label. the Plum Atlantic. Just, yeah, like I say, if you've got a good sound system, these original first pressings of Yes albums, the first few, man, do they sound good. This sounds excellent. Just a brilliant album. If you like prog, if you like Yes, and have somehow never heard this, just brilliant. You know, this isn't the overblown, overly intellectual prog. This still has some soul, some feeling, it's just really well done. The arrangements, it's not too, it's prog, but it's very melodic and enjoyable, and you don't have to have a degree of music to understand it. You can just be anybody and you'll enjoy this if you've got an open mind, I think. So yeah, give it a try if you don't know it. Got this one recently, Blondie Chaplin. If you're a Beach Boys fan, you may know Blondie Chaplin. He joined the Beach Boys in their later years, sort of early 70s time, I believe. He's on their album Holland, which is a great album, and some other stuff I can't remember, I'm blanking on camera, but I love the Beach Boys. He had a great soulful voice. He was only young. I think it was him and his brother that joined the band. They were only young, and talented songwriters, singers. I believe he was in that band before the Beach Boys, which of course I'm blanking on. Is it The Flames or something like that? And that's a good album. I've forgotten the name of it now though, but you can Google it. But yeah, he was really good. If you like that Holland album that he was on, then this is more of the same really. Just great stuff, great sort of soulful, rocking Blondie Chaplin. Check him out. He was great. And I actually saw Brian Wilson at Glastonbury Abbey a few years ago play live, and Blondie Chaplin was with him, which was pretty cool to see, and he was really milking it on stage, dancing around like he was Chuck Berry and making up for Brian Wilson looking like he was a zombie basically, and having to be shuffled around from place to place. It was quite sad really to see Brian Wilson, because he sounded like shit, to be honest. He was a genius in his day, but he couldn't sing when I saw him, and he looked like he was a zombie really. I mean, that's harsh, but it's true. I mean, I love him, but it is what it is really. I don't know if it's him wanting to still sing, or it's his managers shuffling him around for money or what, but I don't know. Anyway, next one. El Topo soundtrack. Now, El Topo, however you pronounce it, is Spanish for the mole, I believe. This was a film that came out in 1970. People pronounce this guy's name various ways, so I'm going to give it my best shot. Alejandro Jodorowsky. Now that's how I say it. Other people say like Alejandro, and they really give it some. But anyway, depends where you're from, I suppose. But he was born in Chile, I believe, or Chile, wherever you're from, however you say it. And then he kind of, I think he lives in France now. But a lot of people say he was a visionary director for his time. Certainly a very interesting director. I would say he probably was really, because so artistic, like the shots, every shot in his films, it's almost like a painting. Like every shot is composed perfectly. He made another film called The Holy Mountain. If you've never seen that, that has got some stunning shots in it, and so's this. Some really amazing shots. However, I will warn you now, this film is absolutely crazy and not for the faint-hearted, and the same goes for Holy Mountain, and really for all of his films, to be honest with you. However, if you are into art, if you're into artistic films, if you have an open mind, if you like psychedelic stuff, this is kind of like a psychedelic western. If you're a bit mad yourself, maybe you'll enjoy this one. But yeah, this is an original copy of the vinyl soundtrack, as you can see. This was released on Apple Records, because apparently John Lennon saw this film and really liked it, and they wanted it released on their label. I think that's true, and it says, where is it on here? I know Alan Klein had something to do with this, so yeah, Apple Records, and really interesting film. Pretty cool music. I believe he composed the music himself as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Alan Klein Presents, there you go. But yeah, anyway, I was talking to one of my people I'm friendly with on here recently about this film, because basically I've ordered I've moved into a new place recently, so I've been getting posters for the place and trying to make it look a bit cool, you know. And I'm going for kind of a 60s, 70s vintage vibe. And I went on eBay one evening at probably 3 in the morning after I've had too many chocolate biscuits, and ordered an original Italian film poster for El Topo from 1973. Now the film came out in 1970, but I believe it was released in 73 there. And I bought this original cinema poster from that time for this film, and it's incredible. You can Google it, and it's Alejandro's face, kind of like looking like he's screaming or in pain, with these two like beautiful hippie women underneath him, and this amazing kind of green background, foreground as well. But anyway, it was in inches when I ordered it, and I knew it was going to be huge. But then I kind of did the transfer into feet after I'd ordered it, and kind of thought, oh, maybe that is a bit too huge. Now it's 6.5 foot tall by 4.5 foot wide. So yeah, it's going to be taking up the whole of one of my walls. And it's going to be amazing when it's done. But man, it's certainly been a pain to get it sorted out, because I've had to have it linen backed. If you don't know what that is, these Italian posters came in 2 pieces, so you have to have them put together. But to do that, you've got to have them put onto a piece of linen, and that's not cheap, and that's not a thing you get done every day. It's a dying art, you know, as you can imagine, so that was expensive. And then I've got to have it framed on top of that, so yeah, it's proved to be a bit of an expensive eBay purchase, really, but it's going to be worth it, I think, and I'll show you it when it's done. It's been linen backed at the moment, so I haven't got it back yet, but when it's done, I'll show you it, and yeah, wow. But anyway, hopefully you weren't too bored about my poster goings on. Anyway, I listened to this one the other day, Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. This is an original UK press in mono. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's my copy, but this doesn't sound very good. It just doesn't. I don't know if it's just because it's worn, or the UK pressings were like this, or what, but mine doesn't sound that great. Obviously it's an amazing album musically, but in terms of quality, sound quality, I mean, I've got a good system, and this does not sound very good at all to me. But beautiful music, a really sad album when you actually listen to the lyrics. It's a really depressing album, but an amazing album, of course, and a classic. So I listened to that. That was great. From '66. And then I listened to this one last night, Motorhead, Another Perfect Day from '83. A bit different for them, but very good. I know a lot of people at the time didn't particularly care for it, because it was a little bit more kind of a cross between Thin Lizzy and Motorhead. Now this guy, there was a new guy joined the band. Was it Brian Robertson? I can't remember now, but I believe he was in Thin Lizzy, the guy that played on this album, if I remember rightly. But anyway, this is an original promo copy. I might be completely wrong there, so forgive me if I am. I'm not an expert, but this is an original promo copy. And it comes with, if it's still here, yeah, a booklet. I don't know if this was in the original albums or it was just the promos. I think it was just the promos. But it comes with this booklet. Which is pretty cool. And then you've got the there. Which is cool. I bought that in Wales when I was digging in Wales a while ago, and yeah, that was only cheap because it's a cutout. But yeah, good album. If you like Motorhead and don't know that one, check it out definitely. What else is on here? Okay, yeah, I'll show one more. Ian Carr, Duskfire with Don Rendell from '66. Now, don't pass out, this is a reissue. If you know your jazz, you know that the original copies of this go for a lot of money. Wonderful album. If you like your jazz, this is fantastic. This is one of the recent reissues on Jazzman. Nice flip back sleeve there, like the original. Nice thick quality pressing, like the original Columbia would have been. And they've even kind of done like a pastiche of the original Columbia in a sleeve, but they've got their own releases on it, which is pretty cool. And yeah, they've even done the original Columbia label there. Nice thick quality. This does sound great. So if you're on the fence about these pressings, don't hesitate because they're fantastic. In mono, sounds great. Really the best track on this is the self-titled Duskfire, the last track. It's all good, excuse me, it's all great, but the last track is really where it's at as far as this album. But yeah, brilliant. If you like your jazz, if you don't know Ian Carr, he sounds to me quite like Miles Davis on this. I believe he was quite a big fan of Miles Davis, and I believe he might have even wrote a book about Miles Davis, if my Google memory serves me correct. Yeah, so if you like your Miles Davis, kind of early to mid 60s kind of period sound, where it's almost shrill but not, but just sounds, there's something about it that's really just, it gets you in the soul, if you know what I mean. I just love it. So if you like that, yeah, check it out. I think that's all I'll show for now, because I've got work tomorrow and you know, time's getting on. But yeah, leave me a comment and I'll see you soon, and cheers.